Welcome. It is full moon in Cancer, lunar eclipse coming in on this 10th of January, our first full moon, and our first lunar eclipse coming in on the 10th, 2020. Welcome to the Ecliptic Spiritualist channel. I'm Ranita, and let's get right into what we're going to do with this full moon. It's a big thing, and it's in Cancer, and Cancer missed. It was the only zodiac sign of 2019 that didn't have a spotlight for the full moon. So it's getting the first runner. It's the first runner up for this new decade, the roaring 20s, as I like to call it, or the Renaissance 20s. All right. So now it's the lunar eclipse here included with this full moon in Cancer, and it's a heartbender. Okay. So this full moon in Cancer is now coming up on this Friday. In some other areas it'll be tomorrow, but it's the only sign, as I said, that didn't get the full shine its light of 2019. So in the Eastern Standard Time here in the US, it will be the full moon will come into play on that Friday the 10th, on Friday the 10th at 2:21 Eastern Standard Time p.m. with the lunar eclipse. Now check your local listing of what time the full moon and the lunar eclipse will come in to play in your local area. So the full moon is also connected to the new moon eclipse that we had about 18 months ago on July the 13th, 2018. So it's connected with that particular new moon. And I want you to look back, at what was going on around you at that period in that summer of 2018. And there's a reason for this, because the full moon on January the 10th, which is Friday, or in your local area could be on a Thursday, but it's going to be at the very same degree as the new moon we had in July the 13th, 2018. Now, if you, just to give you a side note, if you would like to check the astrological forecast, which is on the blog at Ecliptic Spiritualist 7 at blogspot.com, I go into full detail of the conjunctive other planets and everything that is twirling around this full moon and this lunar eclipse. You could look at the forecast. I'm just going to go over some key points of the astrological forecast. You can look at it on far as that with this, but you can look at the details at the blog. So moving right along. It fell into the new moon, is connected with the new moon of July the 13th, 2018. But that's part of that 3-year lunar family I've talked about in the past. You've heard me talk about these cycles. If you go back and you listen to a couple of the full moon rituals that we've done over the past year of 2019, you've heard me talk about this lunar cycle and it having some affiliation with you going to look back at April the 12th of 2019. That's when we had the first quarter moon, also near the same degree as this eclipse that's coming in at the lunar eclipse as well. So it's all a 3-year lunar family, right? Something has been building, from 2018 till now. So you've been building from step to step to step along with the lunar cycles. This is why it's real important to chart and to do what? What do we talk about a lot in this channel? Welcome new subscribers alike. Is journaling and keeping track of the chapters of your life so that you can make decisions on seeing what goes on, because the history tells us in the cycles is what we can expect, which is why it is good to look back and see what was happening so you have a clue as to what will be similar to the theme or additional information we may have missed the last 2 times there was a lunar event at these numbers that we've seen before. So charting, looking at the cycles, looking at things in its totality, keeping track, charting will give you themes, it gives you additional information, and it helps you to navigate in a certain period, which is now, so you can adjust some things that happened before. Because sometimes you'll see cycles come, if you pay attention, I pay close attention to everything. And I behoove magical practitioners and new subscribers alike, or those that are new to journaling or to the cult or having their eyes open or becoming aware that cycles do come. They come a lot because we are in the earth and things evolve or revolve, around the earth. Okay. So it's very important that we understand these things. But whatever it was that occurred that summer of 2018, bring that to your present moment. Ask the question, what did you learn then that you still are learning about now? What did you learn then what did you learn then and that what you still need to learn about now? This is very important to to look at and to tag and to understand how our life goes around the systems, okay, and the planetarian systems that are going around us as well. I'm not going to side note because I want to stay on task, but as I was researching this, and before I bring it to you and researching it, and how do I, as a magical practitioner and as spirituals, looking at my own life, and my own life experience, without just telling you information, but having the true experience in my own life, what I did was I went back. I'm like, okay, Moon, this is what happened. This is what happened. So what happened? What was going on at 2018? I went back to my journals and I looked. I looked at my grimoire, what was going on in my life, what decisions were going on, what was going on in April of 2019 at that time. I even sat down with, just giving you a side quick note about life experiences and how does a practitioner apply this to their own life. How can I give you my own life experience? Well, I asked my husband, I said, hey, I didn't say hey, but I said, hey, babe, what do you remember what was going on in 2018 that summer? He was like, whew, that's a lot to remember, Ronita. What was you charting? And then we sat down and I talked to him about what I wrote. And I remembered the conversations that we had and what was going on in his life and certain things that was occurring then. And I said, okay, that's a theme, and we need to look at what strategies we need to do to make things different, or what learning did we come. So as a practitioner, I can come and tell you, as a practicing person that look at this, how does it apply to my life? Well, Ranita has to readjust. Okay, this was going on. Okay, what was great going on? What, both the yin and the yang, the light and the dark, the positive and the negative. How do I apply it? And so the same thing that I'm saying you will need to apply to. So there, with this lunar eclipse that's coming with the full moon in Cancer, with the lunar eclipse, you want to make sure that you understand that there are going to be portals that will be open with this lunar eclipse. And it's going to accelerate the energy briefly. Okay, it's going to accelerate the energy. So in saying that, the portals, those are new to the practice, or those of astrology and the moon cycles, or those that are seasoned, or those that are new subscribers. From my point of view, as a person that studies astrology and a person that studies the divinity of things, and as a spiritual being, I look at, okay, there's portals coming in. So that means that when the moon is lining up with the earth and then the sun, that means that there's openings. That means that the extraterrestrial beings on the in the energies galactically have a way to communicate with us. And that also ties into your ancestors. Yes, that means that during this season, if you are a person that meditates and activates your ancestor altar, or work your sacred space, you will hear calls, or you will start saying names of those that you have gone on, have preceded you. And then they will have a portal to communicate with you. Also, those that are opening within their third eye and that are awake now, they will be able to hear things that are going on the other side. And then you will get messages through your crown chakra, which is part of here. And your third eye, you will get that, where you will hear callings. You may even during this time accelerate in energy. And when I'm saying not this physical form, this that you reside in, but all of a sudden you can feel yourself being in one place and then you're in another place very at a like a flash of light. You'll be doing a quantum leap, as I call it. And then all of a sudden you can, your car literally, you can feel yourself be in one place and bam, you're there at accelerated time of light that normally doesn't happen. Okay. Also, too, with this portal, as I'm giving this message, the divine and source is saying to me that there will be animals that will find themselves here in this earth that was not once in this earth. So you will see it. Thank you, Spirit. You will start maybe hearing some things through media saying that there was some different kind of animal that they captured, or it broke loose and they couldn't capture, or it turned into something and then it left, or it became invisible because it used that galactic energy and then it left. You will start to see those things come through. Another part of this lunar eclipse and the solar lunar eclipse, and with this Cancer moon and with Saturn and Jupiter and Uranus being a part of those things that are in play, you will see some things that is playing a part in the earth plates, meaning that the earth plates, because the moon shifts, makes the waves of the ocean move. You may hear some things coming about with possible movement of volcanoes, or you will that have not moved, or you may hear of some other things going on that may be some type of storms of sort, because there's shifting in the plates as the solar and the lunar and the earth are at the same time, and as well of Uranus and Saturn being around us. Now, Saturn and Jupiter, I am leaning a little bit away because I'm hearing from the Spirit, even though I'm looking at my notes. What the divine, the source, and the Spirit guides want to share with us is that with this Saturn and Jupiter conjuncting with Cancer at this time, because Saturn and Jupiter have been doing a square off a dance for quite some time now, Saturn is going to help us to understand more things and fine tune things, along with it been sitting in Capricorn. Okay, Saturn is going to help us fine tune. It's going to make us be more tuned in. Even our hearing, natural hearing will be tuned in. But Saturn will help us see things more in detail. You'll be more detail oriented than you at one point was. And you will still be cutting things off that is not important, and that is important will stay, and then it will be heightened. Jupiter will play a part in expanding your knowledge in some areas that you need to know, with quick downloads that will come through, with Uranus activating different things in the physical arena of the earth. But Jupiter is going to help expand some things in your life. This will be in the areas of abundance. Now, it will be in the areas of abundance in helping you to the next steps with your finances and putting you on center stage, meaning that people will see you more in a different light that they once did. A lot of the family here, welcome new subscribers, will be able to financially maintain those that they love with just that one invention, that one business, and that one job that you so dearly love, because your passion will start to be elevated. Okay, so that is something that's just coming through even outside of my notes. So make note of that. Please bring your pen and paper to the full moon rituals intentions, because it will help you to understand what is going on and that is coming. Because as you work with this full moon, it is going to bring in things into the next 6 months. So it is January. So January is going to run us into June. So that means that whatever you're doing, you will see these things be released over the next 6 months if you do the work. Do the work. Now, with the lunar eclipse here, it's going to bring endings and resolutions to things that we have outgrown but are yet to let go of. Some things that we outgrow, like clothes. Use that as an example. Some of us outgrow clothes maybe in size, different things. Our children use that as an example. They grow out of it. Some of us outgrow our clothes. Some of us outgrow people. Some of us are going to outgrow numerous things, not just people, but our mindsets. What we once believed, we are outgrown because we've got new downloads to incorporate that new knowledge. So you will outgrow. And what that will do is move you into a position of not carrying the same entourage, as the angels say, that you once did. So they will fall off. Okay, they will fall off. And you won't be grabbing at straws when you're doing things. You will do that. You will resolve things. And once you resolve it, the door will click wide open for you. And that will be in your mindset as well. All right. So the eclipse may come with some harsh areas now, just to clear up paths, and that's okay. Now, when we're saying harsh, I'm not saying something bad. When I'm saying harsh, it will quickly move something like the speed of light. It will once be there and then it'll be gone. You'll be like, oh, what happened to that person? I remember them. You don't remember them no more. They just, because they needed to clear the path. They needed to clear the path. We didn't feel, sometimes, even when we didn't feel we were ready for that to be clear, this eclipse will clear it out for you. Now, this is general with the divine source is given to me. So this may or may resonate with you in that part. So don't end the video. Okay. So I'm going to get into some other things. Let me try to move along because I'm just listening to the spirit guys. Even as I wrote out my notes, they're shifting me around with giving information. And that's because I'm intuitive and I do hear from what the divine source spirit guys say to me. So the lunar eclipse, again, is going to accelerate our journeys. It's going to accelerate by releasing some things from our lives in order to keep moving for our release. Okay, so we're releasing. I'm going to give you some areas that is going to be dealing with your meditation time on your emotions. So you will need to meditate during this full moon energy, when the full moon come in the next 3 to 4 days, because you are letting go of the decade of 10 years ago. It will take you into that element. All right. So when I'm going to give you how we're going to release. Now, we always write out what we're releasing. You're able to see the full moon. So you can go outdoors if you can at night only, because we work with this full moon lunar energy, the mother, feminine energy. So you can go outside and burn this release. Or if you're not able to go outside and it's too cold and you're in the northern hemisphere, we're in the winter solstice. Those that are in summer solstice, I know you'll be able to go outdoors. But those that are in the winter solstice, you may or may not. Hopefully you can. If not, do it inside, preferably outside. All right. So what we're going to do, there's some areas that you're going to be focusing on to release and write on. What do we use, family? We always use Joss paper. We use Joss paper because the spirit guides, angels, and those that are on in the astral plane, they recognize this paper as part of us and getting it out to the ethers. If you need more information on that, I can link the video. I do have a video on that. I believe I can link that. But getting right into it, there's some areas that you want to write down that you're going to be releasing. Okay, there's 3 areas. And there can be more as you write in your journal and get through this release as the divine source leads you. Okay, 3 things of emotions that you're going to release. What does not serve me in my home? What doesn't serve me in my hometown, city, or state? This can be in a lot of various areas. Make sure that you're making some major decisions. You want to fine tune that. What areas that no longer serve me in my career or my businesses? What no longer serves me? You're going to have to use your emotions to hear this, because what's going to happen is once you're releasing things, you want to release with adding your emotions in, because that means it gives it more potency and more punch. When your emotions are tied into what you write, it is part of you and you can feel it. All right. So what do? We're going to burn our joss paper. When we write our release, we're going to write it very short and to the point. KIS. Keep it simple. So you're going to write I release, boom. I release, boom. I release, boom. Keep it short and to the point. Keep it simple. All right. When we always release, we're going to release and you always sign and you date it. Why? Because the spirit guides and angels understand with your signature and your date. Because they know, oh, that's your blueprint. So they know they'll take that and on to where they need to take it so that they can handle that matter on your behalf. So when we're releasing, we always do what? We write it out, we sign it, we date it, and we're going to roll it away. Because releasing is what? Rolling away. We want it to what? Go. We're not bringing it to us. Go. All right. So what do? We're going to burn it. We're going to take it outdoors and release. This is the joss paper. Joss paper burns very, very quickly. Okay. Burns very quickly. I have it in my shell. And you see the smoke burns very quickly. That's us releasing. Okay, and there you go. Almost done. So, when you are releasing, what do we do with the ashes, Ranita? You can do a couple of things. You can send it in the river. You can blow it into the wind. You can bury it in the earth. You are releasing it to the elements and you're releasing it to your angels, letting them know to carry this off for you, Now, we also are doing a manifestation boosting service. Now, are we doing manifestations with this full moon, Ranita? Yes. You can do it on your own, what kind of manifesting you're doing, or you can join our altar vigil service, which we're doing a manifestation boost. What that is that you can go out, can link the link in the description box below, or you can go right to the website. And what you can do is purchase your candle so it can go on our altar. But once you purchase it, you have to write in the notes or email exactly what your intentions is to be boosted. The manifestation boost is to go along with this earth, sun, and moon collab. So we're going through these portals and accelerating. That candle is burned on my altar in the sacred space that I have for those that I serve. It's a beautiful service, and I'll move on from that. If you choose to join it, it will change your life. It's your soul that's represented there and your intentions. Now, moving along, right along, that starts on the 10th. It starts on the 10th. It's $11.99. Moving right along. Now, what we're going to do is once you've did this, you can do your your smudging. All right. Now, you want to always with the full moon, new moon, or you feel led to do what? Cleanse your area. So you're going to smudge your area. You can use whatever you like. I use white. I use sage. This is a blue sage. And those that watch the channel often, I always have cinnamon in it. That's one of my favorites. I smudge my aura and I smudge the surrounding areas. In my home, my car, wherever, everything that's concerning me, I smudge and cleanse that aura. I lift, and that's called fumigating the air. Okay, so you want to make sure you're smudging the area. Once you smudge, you always want to go behind your smudge. This is my method. You can do as you will. My method is to go behind smudging and use an incense to raise back the vibration, because smudging makes a big hole in your area, and the angels and spirit guides know it takes a while to get that energy back in. So I like to raise it back up with burning Nam Champa to raise it up. Nam Champa is a incense. Okay, so you can use that, or you can use frankincense and myrrh. Another thing that you can also use with that is you can use frankincense and myrrh. You can use the pagan magic incense as well. And I'm going to show you what we're doing with the bath. Now, moving on along, cleanse your surrounding in your home. Okay. Also, we will be burning. Before I get into, let me give you the mantra with this. Okay. Um. Okay. Let me give you the mantra. I'm just pausing because I'm hearing. Let me shift. I'm hearing from the Spirit God. I'm going to shift. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go. You don't need the mantra right after that surround while you're doing cleansing. Okay. Once you're smudging, you don't need that exactly. I'm shifting because the divine is telling me to switch that around. Okay. So here we go. You're going to clean your area, but also what you're going to do is light your candle going along with the Cancerian moon and full moon lunar eclipse. We're going to use green. We're using green because this is the primary color for Cancer. Always make sure that you clean your clean your candle. You can always go to my videos on cleansing your candle. You do not just light a candle and boom. You have to cleanse it properly so it have the energy that you need. This is going to go along with your spiritual bath. You can do two things. You can purchase a spiritual bath if you like on my website. Right now, I'm putting a hold on that. So I want to tell you that is available, but that's on hold. I'm going to give you a quick spiritual bath that you will do in your own home. Don't worry about purchasing the full moon lunar with me this month. I'm holding up on that as guided. Okay. Now, you're going to burn this candle or whatever size you have in green until it completes its way out. You're going to do a spiritual bath. With this spiritual bath, you always cleanse your body first. Use white. Use white towels when you wash with showering first. And then when you get in the tub, if you don't have a tub, it's okay. You could do a shower with a bucket. Okay, you don't have to have a tub. It's okay. A lot of my family here overseas, you don't have to have that. You can just put everything in a bucket. Now, what you're going to put in your bath water is Epsom salt, 3 cups of Epsom salt. You're going to put 10 drops of lavender oil only. 10 drops of lavender oil only. Okay, you're going to use those two combinations. You could burn your incense at the time of taking your bath, right? At the time of taking your bath. Okay. Also, you can use whatever crystals that you feel that you're guided to do. I'm going to give you the crystals that I was guided to use during this full moon lunar eclipse because it is a Cancerian full moon and lunar eclipse. I'm using, and you can use it as well because this will go in your sacred space. I'm using moonstone. Now, moonstone is imaginative, is for creating, and is to balance moodiness. Because we have a lot of emotions coming with this Cancer. Is very potent along with all the other things that's coming along. This will balance out your emotions and it will help you bring in your creativity and your imagination, right? Also, I'm bringing in rhodonite. Okay, RHODONITE. I always look back at my notes to make sure I'm spelling, but that's rhodonite. Okay, that's to bring in that to know your sense of purpose and self-worth. Why? Because we're doing some releasing and you could do a manifestation boost service with me or on your own. But that boost is going to be locking everybody unifyingly together. This is going to balance your purpose and your self-worth. You can always you're going to line this on your bathtub or put it in your on your sink if you're taking a shower. Also, you want to burn some incense while you're doing that. You can use moon incense, frankincense, and myrrh. I will be focusing on magic pagan incense. That's what I'll be using. If you can't get a hold of that, get what you have. All right. You can also use a lucky incense or attraction incense as well. If you can't, as an option, if you cannot get a green candle, with this particular full moon, I do offer the fact that you can use a white candle. You can use a white candle with this. Normally, I don't give options, but you can give an option with this, okay? With this particular eclipse and full moon, okay? Now, here's the mantra that you'll be saying while you're in the tub. Okay, you always want to make sure you bring it over your whole body. All right, now here's the ritual. Okay, I cleanse this space and gift of the earth. I cleanse this space and the gift of the earth. I cleanse all the surroundings of my home and my workplace and in my space. My energy is pure. My energy is connected with the divine, the source. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I cleanse this space and the gift of the earth. I cleanse all that surrounds me. My space, my home, and my workspace is protected. My energy is pure. My energy is connected. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's our mantra for the spiritual bath. You can get in the bath and you can recite this several times. It will bring a nice calm over you. Okay? So in saying that, I love you very much. New subscribers, welcome. Make sure that you subscribe if you're new to the channel. Click the wiggly bell so that you can get the notifications. The wiggly bell is with the lines around it. I love each and every one of you. If no one has told you that today or going into this decade, you are loved. We're going into the renaissance of the 20s, the roaring 20s of multiplication and increase. But most of all, knowing who you are and your self-worth and your balance. This is a very important time so that you are shifting and that way you don't get left behind. You will always hear me say that in videos. This is a very important time. Take heed to what I'm saying. Do the work so that you are aligning yourself with where you should go and that you don't get left behind. I love each and every one of you. Do the work. I love you. Have a wonderful, wonderful full moon. Namaste.